Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Ennis, the crash and burn career. At least that's what it looks. At least that's what it looks like as far as the direction his career is going. Now, Boots Ennis. Look, what happened to him? This man had the entire boxing world thinking he was the next Mayweather, the next big thing, right? And rightfully so, when you saw what he was doing against the opponents he was facing. He was making these guys look less than amateurish. He was in there just clipping guys. You got to think about Boots Ennis. This man's sitting here, 30 wins, 27 of those wins by KO. No losses. Take a look at him. 5'10", 5'11", fighting at 147 pounds. This man got a reach of 74 inches. Boots Ennis, he's got the goods. But he doesn't have the right people advising him. It all started with that damn fight against Chukhadzhian. He got in there. First of all, he pulled up looking more like he was worried about what people thought about the clothes he was wearing, the car he was driving, and the jewels, which is recipe for disaster. And it just really, I feel really disappointed in his team because you got a young man out here who definitely has a potential. It looks like to be something great. But anyway, I feel those distractions started before he got in the ring with slippery Chukhadzhian. And we know what happened in the fight. Struggled with cutting the ring off. Chukhadzhian did what he had to do. He felt the power. He did admit that Boots Ennis has great power, and he didn't want to get hit with any of those shots. But Boots Ennis showed there was some things he needs to work on, in particular cutting the ring off, and to me, it's remaining locked in. Whenever I see a fighter do like what Zab Judah used to do, and other fighters where they're worried about what the crowd is saying to them, even Tank Davis does it. They'll look out and talk to the crowd and shout things to the crowd. Let me tell you something. You get some guys who do that because they're dominating the fight and they know they can get away with it. But with Boots Ennis, when I saw him doing that, that was more of a trying to look cool thing. You know what I'm saying? That's like if you ever slap box with somebody or seen two people slap box and you get one of the guys in there, you're expecting him to get the best of the other guy. And after about 30 seconds, he's getting the shit slapped out of him. And then he's like, nah, he's looking at the crowd laughing and like trying to look cool, but he's getting embarrassed. And everybody's like, ooh, damn. And he's like, oh, no, I got this. Don't worry about it. Oh, yeah, come on, But he's getting the shit slapped out of him. It's more of it's a feeling of embarrassment. So you feel the need to talk or something to make yourself sound and look cool. It's like being on the basketball court, for those of you who play basketball. And you get this one guy who comes out there, and he's doing all this shit with the basketball. All this fancy stuff, but he can't score. You know what I mean? So to me, I call that looking good. What is, I have a saying. Oh, in basketball, I call it looking good missing. That's why I tell my son, I'm like, yo, all that fancy stuff, there's nothing cool about looking good missing. And to me, Ennis was looking good missing in there. So let's fast forward beyond that. That fight with Chukhadzhian was supposed to catapult this man into a whole nother world, right? But what's happened is he didn't do the business. Yeah, he dominated, he won the fight, but he didn't get the knockout, and he didn't dominate Chukhadzhian to the point to where everybody could stamp Ennis as. Not only did he pass the eye test, he passed the test. He's ready to go on and fight Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. No, not going to happen. Hold your horses. Let's not take it to the stupid. But someone on his team, again, is advising him horribly wrong. Edgar Berlanga, he feels he's a superstar, right? Top rank, I think they had the right intentions with Berlanga. Berlanga wasn't looking that great. Let's not fast track this man anymore. He's getting hit. He's getting hurt. Shit, he's biting people. All right? So they had a little rift. Berlanga moved over to Matchroom. but it was a much better move in my opinion. But still, Matchroom recognizes that, hey, we just can't throw him in here with a lion yet. We got to make sure that he passes the eye test and the performance test before we give him to Canelo, and Canelo dissolves him, tranquilizes him, like I said about Deontay Wilder. So Diego Pacheco may be that fight, the second and third fight before he gets in there with Canelo. If he can get through whoever the two little bums they throw at him for the first couple of fights, then Diego Pacheco, then Edgar Berlanga, he's on his way. Jerome Boots Ennis doesn't have that. He's sitting here saying right now, you know what, I'm supposed to be on the undercard, and I've done a video about this, undercard of Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, but I'm not fighting underneath nobody. I'm a superstar right now, like Edgar Berlanga. That key word, superstar, right? So I'm going to go out here and headline my own shows. Okay. Edgar Berlanga's selling out the Hulu Theater. He can go and sell out Madison Square Garden, right? Edgar Berlanga has the support. All them Puerto Ricans, anybody out there speaking Spanish from New York coming to support him. Boots Ennis, what's he selling out? I'm not saying he can't get there, but he's not. And in my opinion, the Tank Davis Ryan Garcia, that fight, that event, may be the biggest one this year. It may be even bigger than Crawford and Smith. I think it's bigger than Crawford and Smith's, to be honest with you. Why in the world, whoever's advising him wouldn't say, you know what, let's strip our pride away and let's be smart about what we're doing here. What does it cost Jerron Ennis to say, you know what, I'll take one more fight on an undercard of someone, Gervonta Davis. I get to fight. Who knows who I'm fighting? But the whole world should be watching that fight, right? This is Hollywood versus Hollywood. Everyone from Hollywood all the way through everyone in Hollywood is going to be watching that fight. Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. Why would you not want Jerron Ennis as the co-main? What is going on here? You look at Canelo Alvarez. How many undercards did he fight on for Floyd Mayweather? That is what you want to do. You think Canelo didn't feel he was a superstar? You don't think Canelo could have gone to Mexico and been selling out stadiums in Mexico? Got to have a strategy. And when I watch Boots Ennis, man, I just really feel it's a crash and burn career coming. I don't like it. It's just all bad medicine to me. I don't like it. And I think he has a lot of potential, and I think he could be the next. I think he needs a big opponent, a big name. He does. That guy, Roman Veal, would have been a great opponent for him. Someone who's going to come to him, we can see what Boots is made of. But I'm going to tell you right now, like I've said in numerous other videos, Boots Ennis and this whole thing about, liking to get hit, that's not good. Okay? And if he gets in there with someone who can crack, that could be a problem. But we know he's tough and he can scrap. But I just think for him to be 25, 30 wins, 27 KOs, and not having a really big name on his record, that's not a bad thing necessarily. But he's at a point now to where it hurts him more than helps him to go out here and think that he's a superstar. Superstar where? How? Champ, you haven't beaten anybody yet. That's like Keyshawn Davis, although he has less than 10 fights. He out here talking like he's going to come and beat Frank Martin and beat all these guys. No, Keyshawn Davis needs to get to where Jerron Boots Ennis first. Look how many fights Boots Ennis has. So what I'm saying is these guys are out here thinking that celebrities and superstars are ready to go out here and headline their own card. Not everyone can be an Edgar Berlanga. That really, it's the truth. The man has the whole Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, they want somebody so bad. So he got Berlanga. And I get it, the whole thing with Shakur Stevenson, you know what I'm saying? I get it, but some people aren't quite sold on that. But the bottom line remains is Berlanga has a entire damn island behind him. What does Boots Ennis have? A gym? Maybe a little neighborhood? Come on, after that Chukhadzhian fight, hell, he lost half of his fans. And I think the way to get it back is to get an opponent to really make you look good and get in there and clip him. I'm serious, man. I'm not saying that to be disrespectful to Jerron Boots Ennis. That's him right there. He's got the goods, man. 87% KO ratio. He's doing the business. But when we start really thinking about trying to break this down to understand Jerron Boots Ennis and realistically the kind of fight I think he should make for his next fight and how it would have looked had he had the right people advising him, would be for him to sit here and try to get a fight with a Thurman, a Yugas, hell, maybe even a Fanasian. But when you come down here and you take a look, even Rashidi Ellis would have been another good scrap for him. You know, Roman Villa would have been a good scrap. I don't know about that damn Conor Ben, Mario Barrios and those guys. You know, Rodside Bultiev would be a real good scrap. But what I'm getting at is when you take a look at this breakdown here of Jerome Boots Ennis and where he racks and stacks at number 3, I don't think he's going to hold that position much longer. I really don't. I think they're going to pull. I think he's going to sit there, man, and drop down the ladder instead of continuing to move up the ladder. And you know, the whole objective of moving up the ladder is not to reverse. And I think he's inadvertently reversing his career, and that's not what he wants. Now, don't get me wrong. Maybe they're gambling on themselves. I'm all about that. Be independent. Gamble on yourself. But at the same time, if I'm renting a house, right, and I want, you know what? I've been renting here for 3 years. I want to go out here and buy a crib, right? I'm not just going to terminate my lease and then go out here now and try to buy a house. I don't have nowhere to stay. That's stupid. It doesn't hurt me to extend another 60 days, then go out there, locate, make sure I found a house, you know, get everything squared away. And that way when I leave the house that I'm renting, I can go directly into my own home so I'm not sitting here on the streets. And I think with Boots Ennis, he is deciding to vacate the rental property that he's in before he's actually went out here and found another place to live. I think that is just bad medicine. Sit your ass in there and keep renting. It's okay. You ain't nobody saying to rent for another 3 years. Sit in there for another 60 to 90 days. Make sure you get your situation straight, and then go on from that rental property, go right into your own home. Cool. But what he's doing to me is, I mean, this is crazy. I'm not saying he can't do it, but come on, man. Not me. I would have sat there, man. I would have sat there and encouraged him to fight in that undercard for Davis and Ryan Garcia. That Tank Davis undercard he fought for out there in the Baltimore, the DC area, that was a good undercard. That undercard was stacked. But that's what they need to do. It's okay. You win 30 fights without really being a headliner and running your own show. It's okay. It's okay to go another 3-4 fights. It's all right. The man has all those fights. He's 20-some years old. It's okay. He's only like 24, 25. What are y'all doing? Not everybody can be a Canelo, man. At that age, doing what Canelo was doing. That's all I'm getting at. So that being said, we'll see. No one knows who he's fighting next. There's so many names been thrown out there. But we'll see what happens. We'll see when he's actually going to return to the ring. So many things about going to fight in New Jersey, going to fight in, all kind of stuff. You know, I just don't even know what's true. So I'm not even going to bring that to you. But, you know, I got to give it to you with a grain of salt. No one knows what this guy is doing. There's just a lot of rumors, but nothing definitive. But the one thing that I will say is I just think that there's a huge misstep here in his career. And I think if somebody with some sense doesn't get a hold of him and his team and say, look, knock it off. Let's reassess and kind of change the trajectory that we're on. Because this is bad medicine. I don't think this is going to end up well. You're going to have a crash and burn career here. And I just think he needs to be careful with that. But that being said, y'all leave your comments below. I think Jerome Boots Ennis, I think he has the goods. I really do. But we need to see him in the ring. We need to see him in there and doing something spectacular. I'm not saying he needs to get in there with a damn Blair to Flair Cobb, who's the best boxer at 147 in my opinion. That's not what I'm saying. He don't need to go that extreme. But get in there with a Bultiev, get in there with a name of somebody who you're going to get a whole lot of respect, especially if you dominate him. Because Bultiev isn't running. But that being said, we'll see what's next for Ennis. But I would like to see him getting there against a formidable opponent that's going to press him and going to bring the best out of him. And I hope he gets an early stoppage. And that puts him right back on the map. Right back on the map. Because right now, I don't know many people who think Boots Ennis stands a chance against Spence Jr., who thinks he stands a chance against Crawford, who thinks he stands a chance even against Keith Thurman. I don't know many people who will come out there and say that. I don't. Even Keith Thurman. People are like, I don't even know if he'll beat Keith Thurman. Okay? But that being said, he has to make the right decision for his career and have the right opponent. And it's okay to sit your pride aside and say, you know what? I'm looking long term. This right here is the best move. But hey, who am I? I'm just a guy who gives his opinion on some of this boxing stuff. And I could be wrong. This may be the best move that he's made. I don't know. But time will tell. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents, in the breeze.